Hi, welcome to day 2 of Solitude. We're just here to support you in terms of trying to isolate yourself a little bit to avoid any kind of contamination risk for yourself or for others. And we want to just encourage you that you've made it to the second day. So hopefully the first day video was helpful. Just to follow up on that, hopefully you selected some kind of a philosophy mantra sort of saying to support you through this time, and that you've got that posted maybe on your fridge or somewhere handy that you can see that and look at that and help keep you on track in terms of keeping a positive mindset. The other thing that we suggested was coming up with kind of a basic, somewhat flexible schedule just to keep things routine for yourself so that you feel like day to day that there's some consistency and that you're getting certain things accomplished. The other thing that we were suggesting was doing some home projects, maybe making a list of that and maybe doing some deep cleaning, cleaning out some closets. Hopefully that has all kind of given you a little bit of a jump start and to really get moving in this process. Today we want to talk about maybe scheduling some phone calls and video calls with family or friends that maybe you haven't been in touch with for a while. This can be really helpful. It can give you something to look forward to. It can break up your day, give you some human contact. So this is the time to just sit down and think about friends near, far, if you've lived around the country or if you've lived in different areas. Think about people that you haven't had a chance to connect with for a while. Write down their names, send them an email, send them a text, look them up on Facebook or Instagram and just say, hey, I'm in this situation where I'm trying to stay into my house for the next 14 days and I would really enjoy getting the chance to connect with you to catch up and not feel so like we normally do, which is pressed for time, like we're fitting people in between 15 other projects. So be intentional, reach out and let them know, I'm really flexible with my time, but let's find some moment to catch up in the next few days or the next couple weeks. So do that, make that a point and have that as something to look forward to kind of catch yourself up on what's going on in other people's lives. The other thing I want to suggest, I mentioned a little bit about how much I enjoy making lists, and I know everybody isn't a list maker, but this is a chance also to kind of identify what are some things that you've maybe been putting off. It's really easy to shift things that aren't as much fun to the bottom of the priority list when our days are busy and full. And now you've got quite a few days where it's not going to be as full. So this is a chance to really knock off some of those items that we tend to procrastinate terribly. I know for me, an example of that would be, I would love to switch my internet service provider, and I just dread those calls and dealing with that whole process. So this would be a chance when I could say, I've got the time, let's go ahead and put the person on speakerphone and do some other things at the same time and get that taken care of. Another thing might be, like learning a language. If that's something that you've wanted to do for a while, what a great period of time to really practice that and get involved and do a structured program maybe to support you doing something like that. We're going to do some more of this after the next segment, but I just want to encourage you to just keep a list of, sit down and really think about what are some of the things I've been putting off, and are these things potentially that I could get taken care of during this 14-day period. So another thing is that while you're doing those house projects, I don't think I did a really good job of stressing the importance of, because I realize you're going to be finding a lot of stuff to donate, give away, possibly to give away to different types of organizations. Some things are better to give to like an animal shelter versus a domestic violence shelter versus Salvation Army. And so finding an area in your house, apartment, condo, townhome that can kind of be your sort of staging area. Like for me, it would be my spare bedroom. I don't anticipate having guests during this 14-day period, so why not make that bed my area to be able to put all these items that I'm collecting that I want to donate, but that I'm probably not going to be able to move those to those locations until the end of this period. So just be mindful of, like, you don't want that to be out in the middle of all your stuff, so try to find an area that you can put the bins that are going to be going away once this period's up. For the mental health part of today, I just wanted to run through, I just tried to sit down and really brainstorm a list of different ideas for things that you might do to fill your time during this period. And if I'm able to do it, I'll put a list at the end of the video to summarize all these. But if not, you might want to take notes on the ones that really jump out at you and say, this is something that you'd be interested in doing. I'm just going to read through these. These are totally random. I haven't organized them at all. They're just bulleted points. So I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but reading or listening to a book or a podcast, mix it up, do different genres, maybe do something self-help, maybe do something fun. I really am amazed at how often I'll find books that I would not be my typical genre to go to, and I'll stumble into them based on a recommendation and really find that it's extremely beneficial or enjoyable for me. I have a pretty significant list of book recommendations. I'll also include that if I'm able to at the end of this. If possible, try to make sure, obviously this is for people who aren't like literally only isolated to inside their home, but try to get some outdoor time each day, some sunshine, some fresh air. You can do work around outside your house. You can be pulling weeds, whatever it is you can do, walking your dog, but try to get some decent amount of outdoor time, even if it's not, obviously you shouldn't be interacting with people, but let it be a time to be able to, for you to kind of feel like you're nurturing yourself. Like you can see I have a screened-in porch, and that's like a perfect option for me to be able to feel like I'm out in nature and get some fresh air. Here's one of my favorites. Cleaning out emails. Like that's just a project that I cannot say I enjoy, but if I have a decent amount of time to work on it, I actually am going to feel really, really good when I'm done with it. So I would encourage you to consider taking the time to clean out some of your emails. Having meaningful playtime with your pets, if you have a cat or a dog or both or another version of a pet, take meaningful time to interact with them and play with them. They will benefit from it. You will benefit from it. I talk to my clients a lot about doing mindfulness exercises with their pet. So getting down like eye level with the pet, which you'll notice they'll look at you a little different when you're in their space in that way. And really just looking at the texture of their fur and taking in like the texture of their ears, the colorings, the markings all over their body, all the different, cats smell amazing in my opinion. So if it's a cat, you definitely want to get a good dose of the cat smell. Dogs, I'm not so sure about, but take it all in, like really be present with your pet in a way that's meaningful and that you feel like you're carving out time, not watching the clock, not feeling like, okay, I got to fit this in, doing it more as like a practice in being present with your pet. Journaling is another great thing. Like this is a good opportunity to capture some of your thoughts and emotions about what's going on. Journaling really helps us process how we think about things, and this is a great opportunity to interact with your thoughts more, to really challenge your thinking, to ask yourself, is that true, or is that just my opinion on this particular topic or at this particular time? And really just soften the edges of your thinking. Give yourself a chance to be more psychologically flexible, be in that space where you're literally able to be more present with your thinking and to notice your thoughts without feeling like you need to react to them. Having an exercise routine, I find that this is a really good thing to put as a chunk of your daily schedule and amp it up. If this is your opportunity to work on some of that or to find something that you enjoy, experiment with some different things. Obviously, with the advice of a doctor, like take into account your own physical limitations. But within that, really try some things that would be interesting to you. And I'm constantly amazed at how many options I have that I can do within my home, especially now that I go to physical therapy because they're giving me bands and rollers and all kinds of stuff to work with. So give those a try and find some stuff that you can do in your home. I find that I do much better with that if I'm listening to an audiobook, a podcast, or if I'm on the treadmill. I definitely want to be watching a video. So something else to think about. Do things that are creative. If you're somebody who is interested in painting, drawing, crafting, sewing, knitting, any of those kinds of things, or even interested in learning it, this is a chance to go online, watch YouTube videos about what you're interested in. People who like games or puzzles, I'm a big jigsaw puzzle person, and so are most people in my family. We swap our puzzles between households. Probably wouldn't want to do that right at this time, But this is a chance to do those things and feel like you've got space and time to kind of do those kinds of activities you really enjoy. I also recommend Lumosity, which I know there's a fee for it, but brain training games, which I find really stimulating. You can write out cards to people. You know, letters are kind of a lost art, but even if you just have little thank you cards, this would be a great chance to write to an aunt or a grandparent who you haven't been in touch with lately who might really appreciate a handwritten note. Shutterfly is a favorite of some of my friends, putting together photo books, giving those as gifts, capturing some of those moments. You might want to review your credit report, something that most of us are not like excited about making time for. Learning to meditate. There's a great book called 10% Happier, and that gives you some really good background on sort of the value of meditation. Let's see, gosh. Oh, figuring out some of the extras with your phone or computer. I endlessly would like to know more about how to benefit from the different features on my computer or my phone. And it's something I could definitely find information on online. I just don't do it because I don't think I have the time, or I don't make the time. It's probably a better way to say that. So those are a bunch of my suggestions, making and reviewing a budget, just ideas to kind of hopefully stimulate your mind and get you going. This is a little bit longer than I planned, so I'll sign off, but I hope you just have an amazing second day, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.